their whole tent blew on. I mean, this was huge tenting. So bad storm.
So we're going to do the back to school events for the kids.
Yeah.
And
If
then...
you're okay with it, I might turn that fan down just a couple levels.
You
go
can,
ahead.
hon, you can do whatever you'd like. I will not pass out on you, I promise. My vertigo is not bad today. Unbelievable about these
The
crystals. That who knew you had crystals inside your ear that flop around when you don't know it. I mean, really. I said,
so bizarre.
after 71 years, now I got crystals. Just call me Swarovski. Just give me a little.
Hey, change the title. Today we're with Swarovski.
You with the swa.
She's got them on her sandals.
Nice.
Yes, my little sandals. I had to be blingy today.
All right.
Just whenever you are ready to record, Hunter.
Let's do it. Let's
Yeah,
do
right.
it. Yep.
So what do you guys got going this weekend? Anything fun?
Funeral.
Oh, that's not fun.
I know it's not fun.
Oh, even that in these times is
Dickie
just
stays.
Go ahead,
crazy.
Yep.
I don't take
it.
him anywhere.
Yeah.
Online 3.
Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is 8:03 a.m. and it is Friday, August 14th, 2020. And it is a sunshiny, nice, bright, bird chirpy, I saw a butterfly this morning kind of day. And you are listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. And we've got a great show today. We are with Miss Arlene Hawks in the studio. Hello there. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
All
Nice to
right.
be here.
All right. All claps are live until we get the clap button. Glad to have you. We've got my wonderful co-host Christine in the house.
Good morning.
We've got JV back there making everyone, but Miss Hawks especially look good today. And we've got Hunter behind the boards. Shout out, young man. Shout out. All right. So we've got quick updates for you guys. And then we have a reading for a dear friend of the show who gave us some interesting history about the web next door. So we're going to read that for her to say thank you. First things first, the 2020 Back to School Backpack and School Supply Giveaway is today at Greenfield Park, 774 Illinois Avenue. For contact information, 630-606-1910. Requirements for free school supplies for the underserved students who live in Aurora. Qualify for free lunch, a TANF recipient, single-parent household, or unemployed due to COVID-19. This is the 12th annual, and it's hosted by Alderman at Large Sherman Jenkins, and they are having the back-to-school event and the AAMOU, which is the African American Men of Unity. So, also shout out to Mike Seville as well, and the Aurora Interfaith Food Pantry. All right. And Saturday the 15th at Sacred Heart Church, 771 Fulton Street, is the 15th annual back-to-school celebration, and that is hosted by Ward 2 Alderwoman Wani Garza. Drive through to pick up your free school supplies and face masks. Let's get our children ready for a safe and successful school year. Awesome. And also on the 15th from 1 to 3 p.m. at Phillips Park, drive-through school supply distribution event. Get kids prepared and ready to learn. This is brought to us by the City of Aurora and CIS, which is Communities in Schools. All right. Now, interestingly enough, next door to us is a bar long known as the Web. It's now called the Aurora Tap House. And many people are wondering, what the heck's this tap house? What's going on with this tap house? And I remember the Web. We all remember the Web. The Web is kind of like Marshall Field's and Macy's, or Sears Tower and Willis Tower. The iconic name is gone, but it remains in the hearts of some. So, here is the history about this building. It was originally the Niemoyer Manufacturing Company. They made lady garments, underskirts, and petticoats. Then the building became an undertaking business and also housed E.B. Brown. William H. Healey opened Healey and Blair, a furniture store that doubled as a mortuary. So when you're in there shopping for furniture, it's also a mortuary. Don't know how I feel about that, but that's cool. His brother, Arthur N. Healey, joined him in a new partnership, Focusing almost exclusively on undertaking, the firm was officially incorporated in 1919. Increased demand for their services led to the need for a new building. The Healey Chapel that we all now know is one of only a few commercial buildings in the Prairie School style. It was designed by George Grant Elmsley, a renowned architect who worked with Louis Sullivan. He also designed the old Second National Bank across the street on Downer and River. How about that? That's crazy. Damn. As well as the Keystone Building on Stope Avenue. Wow, that's cool. Healey Chapel was constructed down the street from the old practice at 332 West Downer Place and cost $100,000. The Healeys were the first to bring her service to Aurora, and the Healey Chapel is recognized as the first building in the state exclusively used as a mortuary. Wow. It is located in the West Side Historic District. It remains family-owned and continues to operate. Back to the web. It opened up in 1936. It was originally named the Spiderweb Tavern and was well known for having the longest bar in Illinois. It is now called Aurora Tap House. So remember, the next time you have a drink there, have a drink for one of the spirits hanging around there. Spooky. Wow, that's crazy. So that's the history of the web. We thank you to our friend and listener, Tracy Duran, for sticking with us. And we're proud that Good Morning Aurora has folks that give us history from time to time. So without any further delay, moving to our wonderful interview with Miss Hawks. Got her tea over there. There we go.
Tea.
Tea. Cheers.
Tea, everybody. Cheers. Cheers.
Awesome. Cheers. Cheers it up. Okay. So Christine is going to ask you about some of the early questions. You are a person with a very storied history, and we're glad to have it here on the show. Glad to learn.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
I was so excited to have you on here.
Thank you.
He said, this is going to be a good one. I said,
Yeah.
Arlene has such great stories and just so much history and relationships within the community. So this is wonderful.
Thanks.
Yeah. So tell everybody who you are and where you're from.
Well, Arlene Hawks came here from New Jersey, born and raised in New Jersey, and went to college in Long Island, New York. And when I finished my university, there were no teaching jobs. And actually, I was a theater education major. So I had known how to play guitar my whole 4 years, and I used to work the pubs, extra money in Long Island. And I thought, well, I'll just try to get myself an agent and I'll go on the road. So I did get an agent, and I threw all of my belongings in my Chevy Nova, and off I went. And I landed one of my gigs here in Aurora, which was, my first one was the Holiday Inn, which is now Eden Rock on Lake Street.
Wow.
That was a 24-hour hop-in Holiday Inn. And when I got there, apparently the gentleman before me was not very good. And he said, well, you better be good. Or, I said, well, I'm going to set up now and I'm going to show you. And if you like me, I'm staying. And that's where I met my husband. My husband came in one night, and the rest is history. We've been married 46 years.
Wow.
So from my little
awesome.
guitar, but then I started teaching. So because that was my original plan in my life, because guitar was second nature to me, but I didn't know I could really make a profession. So I started teaching for the east side of Aurora, and stood there for 32 years. And
Wow.
theater's named after me, humbled. I'm so humbled that East High is the Hawks Auditorium. So
That's awesome.
it was an absolutely wonderful career.
I know so many people call you Mama Hawks.
They do.
Because of your involvement with the kids and the theater and just the passion that you have for the arts in our community.
Well, a lot of my students didn't have the support of their parents. There was single family working all this. So my husband and I became Mama and Papa to them, and I was so grateful for that connection. And they were all my children. I mean, when you say, hey, I used to give birthday parties for them, and every year we would take them, groups of them, to Chicago and to see theater in other places because they needed to have that exposure. And the great thing about what Facebook has done now is connect me to the years of students I have had, and they reach out to me and say, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have been able to do this, or this. And so it's really very heartwarming. Really, my life has been just a wonderful thing.
Wow.
Man.
Growing up, what impact did your father have on your life?
Well, my dad was an incredible pianist, and this is a great story. Italian family in New York. Mom took in an old piano that was on, because she was a dressmaker. So she used the top of the piano to cut out her patterns. And my dad and his brother just started plinking away on this piano. And then all of a sudden they got good, could not read a note of music, but could play both hands. So I started singing with Dad when I was seriously 6, my sister and I. And then I started taking dance lessons. And then one thing led to another. And then I just fell in love with the whole music, dance, theater industry. And I spent 4 years in high school doing all the plays and all the things. And it was just so wonderful. I loved every minute of it. And Dad was always there at the piano. That's how I remember him. So he was pretty wonderful influence in my life.
How sweet. I found something that you said, and it said, know your heritage. Don't let your grandparents or any of the people around you pass on without you knowing where you've come from, because that's the start of your leadership.
Well, having such a wonderful base in your life, and you realize that you are the fortunate one if you have. Now, I'm Italian. I love being Italian. I love the food and the hugs and the warmth that come out of that. But all the other ones have it too. And if you let the people, your grandparents and the people that came before them, leave this world without knowing where the heritage was, you are missing a great part of your life. And it's your story. And your story is in your heart. So you need to find it with them.
Yeah, you have to own it.
You do. You really do. So I love it.
Oh. And now you are the executive director at SciTech Museum.
I am. And people, when I retired from teaching theater, and this job opportunity was offered to me, people say, what? Science? But you don't understand that the arts and sciences are so incredibly connected. That's why when you major in arts and sciences, because you're using a part of your brain that's creative all the time. The scientists are the most creative people ever because they have to figure out one way to make it work, and then they figure out in their brain how to be successful with it. So the scientific method is always there in one way or another. So I have enjoyed every moment of being creative. It's been 7 years, and it's been amazing that we've made some great differences. And then, wacko, came the COVID. I mean, that's everybody's life, wacko, and here we are, and our doors are closed, but we're still very much in the limelight doing things for young people because we want to keep the theater and the sciences going.
Yeah. For those that don't know, what is SciTech and how did it come to Aurora?
Okay. SciTech was originally called the Science and Technology Interactive Center, and it was started in Naperville by Ernie Malamud, who was a physicist at Fermilab. And Ernie wanted to bring science to young people so they would have an understanding and an excitement for the next level of going into that business. So he had a small basement in Naperville. They created all these exhibits, and they grew out of the basement because it got to be so big. So when our post office became available, actually Marie Wilkinson was very instrumental in saying, let's try this. She wanted a place that was kind of neutral, not east, not west. So everybody would go, well, it's on the east side or it's on the west side. And we're kind of right there on the river. So it was so interesting how that came about. And then they just moved right into SciTech, and they've been there ever since. And we'll have our 33rd birthday bash this summer. So it's not in that building, but in the creation of Ernie's wonderful situation there. So that's how it came about.
And it's the hands-on museum, so kids can...
It is all hands-on, and that in the COVID is not what that's what, we are in that phase where it actually states no interactive exhibits, and broke our heart. But before the shutdown of the city and of all of what we're doing, we were having our huge event. That's when our big Imagine event was supposed to be. We had over 200 people coming. We were so excited. We had everything ready to go. It was that last moment that we had to cancel everything and shut the doors. And we were just so sad. But now we're happy because things are looking up, and we've got a lot of things in the future going on. So
You guys have been doing some virtual events I've seen online.
Oh
and some
yes,
different
we
classes,
have.
keeping it going.
You can get your science right online. Just go on our Facebook page or our website, and we have the 1 minute SciTech too. And if you want to do not a longer situation, but we're doing something pretty cool for the birthday bash this year. So everybody listen up on this. The last weekend in September, 25, 26, 27, our birthday bash will be a drive-through. So you can come and pick up a science bag and a birthday treat. And we will be saying happy birthday that way. And maybe we'll have horns blowing and things and we'll have balloons and, we'll just make it fun. But we used to have a huge carnival. I don't know if you've ever been to the birthday bash. We set up on the side of the building and take over all the parking lots. And we had a pretty successful carnival in the last several years. But no carnival this year.
No.
Carnival in your mind.
Party in the house.
Party in the house. That's right.
And you guys have an event coming up next week.
Oh, now this is pretty exciting. So we have a new restaurant in town, and I'm sure people know the restaurant. It's called Mora on the River, but it's actually really called Mora Aurora, and I love to say it, Mora Aurora. And Jason Morales is an amazing entrepreneur, and he owns several other restaurants. So he's got all this outside seating, and he said, we had a little meeting, and he said, I want to do a luau, the first big luau in Aurora. He said, I've done luau's in my other restaurants. We'll have a pig, we'll have all the things, we'll have the music, the dancers, I said, what a great idea. So we're going to imagine this luau on August 22nd. And the 4 p.m. is sold out, and the 6 p.m. has a couple of seats, but we're opening up a 4 p.m. seating. So if you're interested, just go on our website, SciTechMuseum.org, and go to tickets on events, and you can get yourself a ticket and help out the museum. Do our virtual science right now, but we have new exhibits opening. We're very excited, but they're in the making right as we speak. While you sit here, we're working inside the building without children, without anybody. So we're excited about that.
Well, save me a spot at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Curtis, you can come too.
Okay.
That's going to be a great event. I can't wait to see
I'm so excited. I really am.
everybody come together for that.
The time is now 8:19 a.m. and you are listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast, and we are sitting and talking with Arlene Hawks.
So many questions to ask. What do you see in our community as far as the people, the interactions, a lot of the changes that are going on?
Okay, so I was honored
This is a two-part
again.
question.
Excuse me?
This is a two-part question. Yeah.
Got it. But let me start with the day I got a phone call saying I was Grand Marshal of this wonderful city on the 4th of July. And here I am, a transplant from the East Coast. And I became so involved in this community, and it was a different community way back then. It seemed to be more disjointed than ever on the east and the west side. And because I taught on the east side, but I also directed Summer Stage. Summer Stage is a park district, huge program in theater. So I had students from every high school, and we started at age 6. So they all meld together, and I said, wow, wouldn't that be great if we could have something like this always, where nobody did, I'm the east sider, I'm the west sider, I'm the no sider, but just we all come together. And over the years, Aurora has really done that. And we have revitalized the downtown. I mean, this Marissa Amoni is a dynamite young lady, and the things that are going, the people that are moving in, it's a party. I mean, every first Friday, it's a huge party. And even though we have been shut down, we have been able to run that party virtually. And last Friday I went downtown. There were people all over. They finally opened up, and our art is, alive and well. And there's people from everywhere, not just Aurora. They hear about it. They come in and they go, this is so cool. I mean, when you think about the places that have opened up in the last couple of years and the ones that are coming, I mean, we are happening. We are a happening place here in Aurora. So I'm excited to be in the middle of that happening. I really am.
Yeah, we are, because I know people from other areas will hear what I'm doing or different events that are going on, and they're really in tune with all the exciting changes and events that we do offer here.
It's like no other that I know. I mean, there are cities up and down the valley, but you can't say that they do and have as much diversity as we have. And I think that's what I loved the most about Aurora and where I taught, because coming from New Jersey, New York, my whole life was diversified. I mean, I lived next to, I'm Italian, and I lived next to the Jewish families, and I did the Seders. I did all the, people go, how do you know all of that? Because I wanted to. I mean, it was part of the neighborhood. So we are now one big neighborhood now in Aurora, and we're sharing everything, which I love.
Especially the food.
Oh, please don't talk about the food. The food is great.
What are some of your favorite restaurants in town?
Well, I have not been to Altira. I hear that's just fabulous.
It is.
And
I've been there.
I know, and I need to get there. But with the outside seating and things, I have not been there. But mainstays. I've always loved what Phil does over there at Ballydoyle. I mean, Ballydoyle is a great place inside and out. And Phil was a good friend when he first opened up. I remember that excitement of having that establishment come in. Gillerson's is fabulous. I mean, they're all good. My China Hut. I mean, I being so close to SciTech, I mean, the gal, she knows. She goes, "Oh, Arlene, you're so wonderful." And we order like every week from there. And when we got into this COVID, I made sure that I ordered out from all of these restaurants. The Spartan House. Ron has been so wonderful with SciTech, giving food when we had events and doing things. I mean, they're always willing to help and come there. Of course, you got to love Mothers. My good friend. See, and the best part about Aurora, you get to know the owners, and they come to the tables, and they make you feel like your family. It's like, how you doing? And we're doing just great. So it's wonderful.
I did the same thing where I'm used to everybody supporting us, and then when it was time to support the restaurants, got a little too much takeout and did what everybody else did, just kept eating and eating, and you're not going out.
I know. Well, my husband always says, I like you just to hang with me and not have to clean the things and wash the dishes. And so that's why, the order in was good for everybody.
Yeah.
So.
And how is Dick Hawks doing with COVID? And
Dick Hawks. My lovely husband is on his way to his 82nd birthday, and I have kept him in the bubble. I mean, including myself, because he has everything known to man that is this COVID can catch on to. His heart surgery, his diabetes, all these things. So I'm petrified of other people around me. But he is happier than a clam because I've been home with him. This is the first time in our 46 years of marriage that Dick and I have been together 24/7. I mean, and hi, honey, can what can we do here? And, but he's so cute. It's like, so what are we doing today? Same thing we did yesterday, Dick. We're going. And, it's so funny because we live on Garfield in Aurora, and which is a very busy
side.
street. Okay. And I take him outside. We sit on the driveway. And so many people come by and wave and pull in and go, "What's up? How you doing?" And isn't that amazing that can happen? So every day we have this party on the driveway. You want to come by? Anybody? Say hi. We're out there. We play gin rummy. We play all these things. It's really fun. I'm painting rocks. Who would have known?
I've heard about your driveway parties over there.
Yeah, come by. Come by. Bloody Marys start at 2.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's wrap this show up.
There you go. So it's been a learning experience for everyone. I mean, for everyone. How could we have had such busy lives that have just all of a sudden stopped? That's the way it's been.
It really made you appreciate what you have and the people that are in your life.
Absolutely.
And the things that we always took for granted, and now we're readapting to.
Got to do it. Got to keep everybody safe, and we want to go to the next level, and we have to have faith and hope that it's going to happen. Just let's get through this and move on.
What is America to you?
Oh, America is a place that I'm wishing we had a little more peace in every which way. I'm saddened by everything that's happened around us because, as I said, I have always been a person that has accepted God's children. I mean, we are all there for a purpose. And if we could all just get along. And, when you think about wars, I've thought about that the other day. We're always warring about something. I mean, when was the first time everyone was in peace? I don't know when that situation was. That's what I would love to see again, where we just look at each other and say, you and I are brothers. You and I are sisters. Let's move on. And we can disagree. It's okay. But one thing I learned in marriage and in life, I don't have to believe in you. I mean, I believe in you, but what you say to me, but I will just believe in here. It's the movie in your mind. Don't argue. Do you know how much energy arguments take? Much more than love. Come on. You get all pent up and you're going, oh my goodness. But you go, really? Take a breath. Take a breath and just let's move on. You believe what you want to, and I will, and it's all good. What happened here?
Yeah,
Nothing.
It takes more muscles to frown.
That's
than it
you're
takes
absolutely
to
correct.
Smile. That's right.
That's actually correct. That's scientific truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So what was your first year of teaching? What year was that?
Oh, you got to ask me years. Come on. I mean, I've been out for like 12 years now, and I taught for 32. I started off at Simmons, actually, Simmons Middle School, and loved every minute there. And then the theater job opened up at the high school at East. And I thought, oh, here we go. We get a huge auditorium and a chance. And it was just a great walk through. I'm proud to be 71. I started in my 20s, and again, every experience those young people gave me were part of my life. I mean, how can you walk through life and not meet people and they touch you? I mean, and some are good, some not so good, but they're all there for a reason. They really are.
And what were your musical inspirators? Who inspired you musically?
Well, of course, my dad. And living in New Jersey, we would go to Broadway all the time. So they would take me to theater, and I just grew up I was a theater rat. And when we raised our son, who would have known that he would have jumped right in the business? And he went off to Broadway, and now he's living his dream in L.A. And doing TV and movies. But L.A. is shut down, as you know.
Oh, God, yeah.
So he has just bought a house in Waco, Texas. And really, and they are going to build a soundstage, and they're going to do their things right there, because it's going to be a long time for L.A. to come back. It's a hot spot.
Yeah,
although
it is.
Texas is a hot spot, too. We just have to wear our masks and be safe.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite play?
Well, it's got to be Les Mis.
Ooh.
Les Miserables has got a story with everything in it. It's just such an amazing historic venture, and I'm a proud mama to say that my son got to play Jean Valjean on Broadway as an
Congratulations,
understudy.
Mom.
He did the opening weekend. It's one of those great theater stories. The lead goes down and the understudy goes in without a rehearsal. And I happened to be in New York then. So I got to see it live and up close, and I was just tears. Oh my gosh, tears. Because I know that play so well. So every minute he was on stage, I was going, oh, please make sure this goes right. You have to climb the barricades, you have to go into the tunnels, and did it like a champ. So it was great. It was really great. Well, I've had him on stage since he's been 2. I took him to East High with me. So here, walk on. Here, have a
That's
part.
like second nature.
Yeah.
Have a part in the play, and that's how you get to really love things. You just do it. Just enjoy it and do it.
The time is now 8:30 a.m. You're listening to Good Morning Aurora, and we are sitting down speaking with Arlene Hawks, telling us all about film, life, and everything in between about Aurora. So, question: what's the best thing happening in the Aurora downtown? We got SciTech.
I was
Talked
going to
about the
say,
restaurants.
come on now,
Yeah.
you know it. SciTech is the best thing happening downtown.
Besides SciTech, what else? What other than SciTech? What else do you like taking place?
Well, because I'm an artist and all the art and entrepreneurial shops that are like Wickwood, all these people coming together and bringing their crafts and their passions. And the vintage is now, going with all these wonderful things that people are finding. And I just find that is so amazing in our town that we're opening up these areas. Now, the arts that... Okay, I have to give a shout out to my neighbors.
Because
the neighbors next door to SciTech, Mel and Ron that do the 24-hour. I don't know if everybody knows the old library.
One East Benton
is a 24-hour technical support center, and it's called Support Tech. 24 hours, there's people in there answering phones to support your every need. And they have opened up their downstairs to all the artists. They've redone that library. It's just most amazing. And they're such community people. They're advocates for the community. Whatever you want, Ron and Mel support. They came over to SciTech. What do you need? You want this? Do you want that? We'll support you. And that's a great thing to have that neighbor right there. But just walk around and see the restaurants and see the shops that have opened up. It's most amazing. And I hear that Pedal and Spoke is moving and getting bigger and
All spoked up.
all spoked up.
All spoked up.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Good. Okay,
They're
so
moving next
so I'm old. So you gotta.
Mike's got pedals and spokes. It's all good.
It's got
We knew
the
what you meant.
bike. But I just read that, and that's exciting. That they're moving and getting big. Treadwell, all the little coffee places. It reminds me of a little Geneva, with the little things going on, and now we have outdoor seatings, which is beautiful. I mean, really beautiful. Did you notice the new barricades that are all matching on Stope and
yeah.
It's lovely.
Yeah, parklets they call them. Yeah, they got that, and then the tables are inside of those.
Right, the
Yes,
tables,
that's
so
right.
you feel just like in New York and Chicago, you feel like you're protected. So when the cars are coming down the street, they're not running over your curb into your food. So it's really nice.
That was one of the good things I think that came out of COVID, because there was a lot of planning, a lot of organization to make that happen for the outdoor dining.
Right.
But it's something we've been wanting for some time, and then unfortunately it took this, for that to occur.
We just have to figure out the winter. I think we need heated tents.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm glad the restaurants are opened, but I'm not a fan of them, especially with my husband. I need to just be on the outdoors. So that's where I spend my time.
Do you guys barbecue at the driveway parties? I'd like to know. If I come up there, can I get some ribs or something?
What driveway parties?
Your driveway parties with the Bloody Marys that start at 2 o'clock. I didn't forget.
You mean my Garfield party?
Yeah.
Sure, put an order in. I'll stoke the grill up. Usually, though, I'm running out and getting things like let's have a pizza. I have my little gourmet around the corner for me, and then I'll do May over there at China Hut. Something easy. I'll go to Spartan pick it up. So it's all good. It's all good. I'm Italian, so I'll always feed you.
Yes,
Know that. I will
yes.
always feed you.
It's always centered around food and family.
Food and family, absolutely. That's people always go, how come you put all this food out? Because that's what my mom did, and so you don't have to eat it. I'm just offering. So there you go.
Well, that was almost offensive to my mom when you would say, "Are you hungry?" I'm like, "Just say you're hungry. Just say you're hungry." If you said no or turned down any food, she'd just keep offering you more and more and more and giving you different options until you finally said yes.
Very interesting. Little tidbit also about me. The Hawks family farms were at Fermilab, and Fermilab was bought by the government, so the farms went away, but they went up the hill. But my mother-in-law was used to feeding all the farmhands, so even when there weren't all the farmhands, she would cook for 20 or 30. So he would drop by. She said, "Would you like a fillet?" But Mom, I just dropped by. Well, I cooked up 30. It's one of those things. So I've always been raised, but now, so it's very fortuitous that I'm at SciTech, which was Fermi, and I married into the Hawks family, which was, how did that happen?
Thank
Come on.
God you left Jersey, right?
I mean, yeah, but we still own a property on the shore in New Jersey, so I can hop
nice.
out to the beach and get on my shore property. I haven't been there all year, though, because of the COVID. I missed my niece's wedding on the beach. I just have to be safe,
I think that's what we all just have to do. Is just
I gotta say, I'm not sure about the airplanes, and that's the way I travel. So I have to figure out how I'm going to get to Texas now, and how I'm going to get back east. I haven't seen my family in over a year, so I'm really missing them. I mean, we FaceTime and do all that. I'm just starting to figure out Zoom. Come on,
Oh, yeah.
We didn't do all that stuff. Where's the mute button? I don't know where it is. How do I get there?
Yeah,
So
somebody's got their dog in the background.
I
Can you
know,
shut up?
I know. So the other day on TV, somebody was doing their interview in their closet because he said that was the only place that he could have no children and dogs. Yeah, so there you
Yeah,
go.
I've
Curtis,
done
Curtis started the show in
in my bathroom.
Oh, there you go.
because it had the best. You would understand this. The best sound.
Oh,
acoustics.
absolutely.
Yep. Then I put a
Absolutely.
blanket over myself and the computer, and I started doing it like that for a week. And I was like, you know what? I think it's time to leave the bathroom. I can't have a good guest come in. Hey, sit on the toilet. We can do this now.
Hey, if it's a good moment, there you go.
Yep. So, what would you say in your time in theater? What's the best joy and gift that you've gotten or noticed out of your students? What's those things that when that happens in that young kid, when you see that spark or that light, what's that moment like when they take to it like a fish?
Well, let's go back to grading. People say, you teach theater, do you grade? Well, of course I grade. I think there's things that have to be done and tests that have to be taken. And parents would come up to me with a report card, and everything would be failure except for drama. And drama would have A. And they were going, how can you justify this? Look at this. And I said, you have to understand that these young people now have a way to express themselves like no other. And they grab onto it and they just run. And then they realize they can do most anything once they can stand up and they can speak their mind. In fact, my seniors, instead of a written grade, I did a senior spotlight. And I had those young people last time on the stage in a spotlight, and all the underclassmen would be there. And I would ask them how drama affected their lives. And without a doubt, they said, we never would have completed our careers here in high school without having that outlet, because some of their lives were pretty sad, and they had nothing, no happiness, nothing to grab onto. So they found this other family. Theater's a family. I mean, that's what we do. We create them and then we keep them. So that's why everybody cries at the end of a play, because you've created this incredible gift to a community of people, and then you have to split the family. And I always say, you got another one coming up. There's a family right around the corner, but you never have to leave this one. And you don't. They call, they write, they come by. And my gift to see them shine. In fact, one year, very interesting story, I cast a young lady in The Wizard of Oz. I cast her as Dorothy. I had no idea she was a special needs young lady. I had no idea. She knocked out the audition. Teachers came running up to me and said, oh my gosh, you can't cast her. She won't do the lines. She won't do the songs. She doesn't have that capacity. I said, okay, I'm going to give her a chance, because she was wonderful. Never missed a beat. They could not understand how she did what she did. She created a life for herself in that character, and there was no one telling her she couldn't do it. Because here I am cheering her on. You got this. Let's go. And she did. And I don't know where she is right now. I wish I did, because what a great experience for her and for me, for people saying, you can't do that. But you know what? Honestly, when you tell a child they cannot do something, you have put this block in front of them that is so awful.
Heck yes.
You never tell someone, including my son, who is white and short, I want to be a basketball player. Go ahead. Be that basketball player in your life. And then he figured, well, I'll just do theater. I like theater. So, that went that way. Because, you figure it out. Everybody figures it out. And that's what makes life so wonderful.
That's true. I'm a father, so I learned that, you know what? No matter how ludicrous it sounds coming from your kid, don't shut it down. Hey, the sky is green and I'm going to be an astronaut. You know what? do that. You are right. Then you'll discover it's blue when you get up there and you discover why it's blue, particles, all that kind of. Don't, whatever it is, you're with it.
It's
That's
it's
right.
science.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
it's we always come back to that science, no matter what you do. I mean, I have grown. Come on. In the 7 years, my husband even says I'm smarter. He said, you think differently now. I said, I do, because science has taught me, even though I loved science. Oh, I loved biology when I was a kid. I loved dissecting these things and figuring out what was named and done. And I just so appreciate the moment that I got to take on this position. It's a great thing for young people to find that spark. And even though they come in and it might not be science, they figure, oh, maybe I like that. How did that come to be? I have a bubble section that we're redoing. It's fabulous. Who doesn't like bubbles? Come on. So then they get into something else and they go, how did that really happen? And is that science? Yes, it is. It's all science. So it's lovely.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
How do you motivate kids that you've come across that maybe have been told that they can't do something or they're not, you're not worth it? How do you kind of turn that around for them?
Oh, you let them turn around themselves because you give them, what's the word? This confidence. It's all about the confidence. I had a young man come into my theater class one day. He says, I'm not getting on that stage. I said, okay, you can do the backstage things. You help me out. You be my assistant.
Yeah, get coffee.
I'll grade you on all these other things. So we were doing a play, and the lead on this play, never forget this, Christmas Carol, I think it was. And the parents decided to up and move right before we were opening this play. Now, I never forgot his name, David. I said, oh my gosh, we're going to have to cancel the play. He says, no, we're not. I know all the lines. I said, what do you mean? He said, I've been listening every day. I can do it. I said, but you've never been. I got it. And he did. And it was all because I never forced him. I never forced him to get up there. I let him find his way. And that's how you give somebody the confidence that they. And I have parents come up to me and go, how did you know my little one would be great when they cried through the whole audition? I said, because they were feeling something and I saw it. But the one thing I loved about all of my plays and all the years that I taught, I never said no. I never shut down a person that wanted to be on that stage. There are some directors that go, oh, no, you don't have the talent. How do you know? How do you know you don't have that talent unless you're trying it? So you're in the chorus for the first one. You go, hey, I don't need to be in the chorus, man. I need to be out front. And that's how you get that confidence. And the great thing about Summer Stage is we started from 6-year-old all the way through adulthood. And they got to watch the young people that were really, really experienced and talented. So that was just a great thing. So how do you get them to feel confidence? It's going to be there. It's just going to be there. Say you can, and you can. That's the same thing about improvisation. We teach improvisation. Do you know what improv is? Where you just
Yes.
Okay. So
Can you explain it? Please explain it though for the listeners who don't know.
Okay. The improv, and there's Second City, and there's groups that do improv all over. You have 2 actors or more that get into relationships with no rehearsal, and they have to speak to each other, and they have to create scenes. And the first rule in improv is you can never say a negative. You can't say a negative to the person. So if they say, hey, how you doing? Not well today. It's not going. And then the conversation shuts down, just like life. When you meet a negative person that you look at and you go, oh, I don't know. I don't think I'll continue this conversation. That's what happens in life. So you have to just say, yes, let's go to that party. Let's do that thing. And then the scene evolves. Just evolves.
Focusing on all the things that are going right rather than all the things that are going wrong.
That is absolutely correct. It's wonderful. It's a great, if you want to learn to be sharp in your mind, play improv with someone. I do an improv game where you pick up anything on your desk, on the floor, whatever, and you create different things with them in your mind, and you say it out loud. Now, the best thing I'm telling you is you want to get better at something, speak out loud. Speaking out loud helps everything. Helps your diction, helps not mumbling. And I always say pick up a magazine or a book, throw any page on it and see if you could read it.
Amen to
I mean, young people now, they have a tendency not to do that because they're on their screens and they're doing their thing. I don't know how I would have taught in this age group. I really don't, because with the phone age and they're so hooked in, and I know I wouldn't have allowed any of that in the classroom, and I don't know what the teachers are doing now. I don't, because I'm not in the classroom.
Consistent breakdown of so many things. The punctuation, grammar, all those things over time, the quick abbreviations and the text and all that kind of stuff. It started to seep into life. Kids aren't familiar with great literary works anymore. I mean, if they can't swipe through it, they're not reading it. They're not reading it. And that's just so sad, because there's so much knowledge in books. Yeah, they got online books, but for heaven's sakes, nothing for me is better than picking up the book, opening it, and turning and smelling those pages and reading, and having to understand the cadence in which it was written. And I like books.
I do too. I still have my library. I still have my first encyclopedia. It's still sitting there. And do you know, I actually go to it sometimes. I don't Google what I need. I go, oh, let me just see if I can find this another way. I mean, it's just an experience that they're not having. And it makes me a little sad, but
What are some of your favorite books, like motivational or just books in general?
I have to tell you, I have just done nothing but read scripts. And you know why? Because every year I had to pick all of my shows and all of the things. So I would just pile up scripts and try to think of things that were plays that young people could relate to. And then we even wrote some scripts and plays. So I don't get around to reading lots of books. Isn't that terrible to say? But it's true. And again, I've had no time to do that. I really taught 24/7. I would come home from my job. I would have to raise my son and do all of the obligations that my husband had a really very big brokerage situation. I would go out with clients, have to do things, and time to read a book. I couldn't wait to get to bed and go to sleep, because I get up the next morning and then you've got 5 classes of 60 some odd young people, and then you're rolling. So it was a constant roll. So I've learned one thing over this COVID is that you can close down, but the best thing is to be quarantined with someone you love. I can't imagine being quarantined with someone you don't love. Oof. I mean, that's got to be just awful. But someone's out there is praying for all those people, I'm sure, because they're getting through it. They're getting through it. So there you go.
What do you think comes next after our COVID age? There's those that say that life will never return to normal. I kind of believe that. Do you?
I have to say, because the COVID is not going anywhere, scientifically, okay, that you're correct. We cannot live life the way we lived it before. You have to be careful, because it affects everyone. I mean, my son knew Nick Cordero, 41 years old, that wonderful Broadway actor that was just singing and dancing and winning awards in New York, and now he's gone. I mean, it just affected this very healthy young person without any of the things that, the older people have, and it just gloms on. So whether we will get back and have people comfortable, I don't know if anybody can be comfortable anymore. I look at these movies and I look at some of the films and these massive concerts and everybody's like this together, and I'm going, ooh, I don't know if we're going to see. I don't think we're going to see that again. Now the AMCs are starting to open, so the theaters are, movie theaters, and I'm going, okay, I think I like my clicking right on the couch right now, where I can get all my movies. And that's a sad thing.
Yeah.
But it's reality.
Safe.
I don't know
Safer,
these folks
unfortunately.
around me, so.
Yeah, I'd love to go on a trip, but I don't care how many $49 packages they have at Southwest Airlines. I'd have no confidence getting on a plane and flying to anywhere to go on a vacation. Just don't have it.
And when will we? And how long can they exist?
Right.
The airlines with people not flying, although people are flying. The younger people are flying. I won't take my husband on one. Not at his age. And driving, I hate driving in the car. I'm not a driver in the car. I've always been get me there. Hop me on that plane, New York, hour and a half, I'm there. And when Victor lived in New York, it was great. LA, not so much. That's almost a 5-hour turnaround when I need to do that. So Waco's a little closer. So we'll figure that out. We will.
I'm sure you'll figure it out.
The time is now 8:50 a.m. You're listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast, and we're speaking with Arlene Hawks today. So we end the show on a positive note. What is something that the people of Aurora, especially young people, should know in the front part of their mind, take with them going forward, not just today into the weekend, but for good? What do they need to know?
That it's all possible.
Ooh.
It is all possible. You have to live that dream, and don't think that the dream won't happen. Look at AGT. If you want an uplifting show about people and talent, they have some stories behind these people that you wouldn't believe. And they think, here I am on the farm, and now I've just won this major competition. So I want every young person out there to know that they can do what their passion is, but you have to find the passion. If you end up going in one direction and it's not making you get up in the morning, don't be afraid to change that. Don't be afraid to change your direction to something that you love. I loved getting up and seeing my students every morning. I couldn't wait to see what they were going to show me. They taught me as much as I hope I taught them, because they were different every day. And every day, that's what life is, isn't it? It's different, and that's what makes it special. So go out and get that dream. That's my positive.
Wow. That's
That's
very
great.
inspirational. No, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. It is all possible. Don't think that the dream won't happen. I like that. I like that a lot. So I would like to say to everyone to be positive, and stay motivated, not only this weekend, but going forward. Be safe this weekend. Have some fun. But again, as Ms. Hawks said, be your own dream. Chase that dream no matter what, even if it is hard. If you get derailed, if you fall off the horse, just get back on it. If you really love your dream and your passion, you got to keep going, because nothing worth having ever comes easy.
Amen.
Amen to that.
And then also, just how do people get tickets to this event that you're having?
Just get on that line, SciTechMuseum.org,
Okay.
and go to the events and click on tickets, and there you go. And the money will go to SciTech for our opening, and we hope we'll be open in 2021. I mean, I don't care what's happening. We will make it work, and we will open those doors.
Say anything's possible.
That's right.
Anything is possible.
Yep.
Make that dream come true.
Awesome. All right. On behalf of Good Morning Aurora, we'd like to say thank you very much to Miss Arlene Hawks for coming to talk to us today. We got a lot out of this interview, and hope that you guys did as well. And please don't forget, Saturday, August 22nd, the Mora on the River with SciTech. That's going to be a great event, and we look forward to seeing you guys out there. On behalf of ourselves to you, we hope that you have a very blessed, positive, and powerful Friday and weekend. We'll see you back Monday on the second largest city's first daily news podcast.